Every rising star in business needs a strong MVO and strong creative content. By strong MVO, what do I mean? I mean, you need to have a strong minimum viable offer, most viable offer, or a strong maximum viable offer. By strong creative content, I'm referring to creative content in the form of commercial productions, whether it be for radio, television, or newspaper. You need all of this. But the possibility exists that you can have a strong MVO and strong creative content and still fail. Why? Because you fail to look at strong communication medium. So today we're going to spend some time to look at communication medium from the context of really understanding how to apply the art and science of communication management, the art and science of media management. I believe is an important concept for you to understand. Now, when we talk of the art and science of media management, a number of concepts should come to mind immediately. For example, we're talking here about the effectiveness and the effective use of mass media. And mass media represents radio, television, and newspaper. We are also talking about the effectiveness and the effective use of social media. And there are a plethora of social media platform. For example, you have Wisdom, you have Clubhouse, you have Facebook, you have Instagram, you have YouTube, and so much more for you to consider as you look at the effectiveness and the effective use of these medium to help you to achieve your advertising objectives, which is about commanding attention, piquing interest, arousing desire, moving the client interaction. Along with this, you need to also ask yourself the effectiveness and the effective use of the metaverse. Now, this is more applicable to those who are in the developed world, because in the developed world, there is so much that is taking place with the metaverse. And this is a very unique platform for you to place your ads when you understand what you're doing. The last concept that we're going to look at here is the effectiveness and the effective use of independent communication channel, all of which you need to understand. Independent communication channel has tremendous advantage, again, when you understand how to deploy this method into reaching your client, building that healthy relationship with your client, and forming that bond through independent communication platforms. But the big question that we have asked ourselves here so far is, what is or are the effectiveness and the effective use of these media? Now, if you or a member of your team is not asking these questions, the possibility exists that hundreds of thousands of dollars or millions of dollars can be wasted each year in advertising aimed at achieving the advertising objective, which is reach and impact and client conversion, monetization, confidence, trust, and credibility. A whole lot of money can be wasted here. The objective of doing these nuggets is to ensure that rising stars in business, they are able to make better business decisions when it comes to advertisement and placement of commercials. There's a concept that we always talk about. For you to be able to understand the effectiveness and the effectiveness across the communication spectrum, you need to have data. And again, this is the reason why we talk so often about data collection, data analytics, data application, and data mitigation. So as we talk here about data, what does data collection looks like? Under this context, we're going to look at data from the perspective of stress testing the appropriate medium. So what are things for you to consider in terms of stress testing the medium to see its effectiveness and its effective use? Well, there's a number of things for you to consider. For example, we talk about the media ideology. Second, we talk about media content. Third, we look at media reach. Fourth, we look at media effectiveness. And yes, we go deeper into media effective use. These are different things that you want to stress test. We also talk about media impact and ability to convert. And these are important concepts that you really want to pause and ensure that if you don't have the answer for these things, that some member of your team should at least be an expert in this area, media management, so as to help help you to make smarter investment decisions when it comes to creating opportunities to build visibility, reach, and impact with your brands and your businesses. Now, let's go deeper into this analysis. So you have collected data and you need to analyze the data. We call it data analytics. So in terms of media ideology, what are things that you're looking for? For example, in the United States of America, when we look at Fox News and CNN News, there are two different media ideologies that comes up here. And understanding these ideology plays a tremendous role in really helping you to place your ads to reach an ideal client. And there's so much more that we can go into in the ideology, but today is just to give you the high level overview. And at a later date, we'll go deeper into this analysis, or when you come into our training program, we will go much deeper into this analysis so you're able to make informed and educated decisions in terms of how to apply yourself in the advertising management, media management. Now, the second concept that we have talked about here is media content, and this has everything to do with your understanding of the specific demographic, all right? And content scope. You need to understand this. Demographic, specific content, and content scope. Now, and let me just explain this just a little bit. The medium that you are considering placing commercial in, you need to ask yourself if that medium is allowing you, based on its content, to reach your specific target market. If not, there's a high probability that your monies are going to be wasted. And in placing your ads, you want to become an educated consumer. So these are some of the things that you need to know, all right? The scope of content also helps you to understand how broad of scope, how broad an area the media carry. There's some medium that specializes in specific areas and specific focus. You again need to be clear if that scope of content creation, how much it adds or take away from you reaching your ideal client. The third concept that must be considered here is media reach. Now, one of the things that we talk about here is that you want to be able to assess beforehand if the medium that you're using, is it local, regional, or international? Because you may be an international brand who is advertising using a particular medium of communication to place your ads, but then the medium is local when you're international. On the flip side of this, you may be local when you're using a medium that is international. So the possibility exists here that yes, you're going to be creating awareness because you're now going global, but do you have the systems in place to reach those specific markets? And is there a better way that you can go about placing your ads so as to reduce the cost and optimize the level of effectiveness in spending your money? So these are important concepts for you to consider. We also talk about the media effectiveness, and let's talk about this. The main reason that you're producing an ad and placing an ad into the communication channel is because you have objectives, and the objective is reflective in the effectiveness of the medium that you're using. For example, you put the ad into radio, television, and newspaper, into social media, or the metaverse, or independent communication channel. Why? Because you need visibility, you need reach, you need impact, and you need client conversion. So the big question you must be asking yourself here, how effective is the medium in terms of helping you to achieve all of the above? Visibility, reach, impact, and client conversion. Now, the medium in itself should be in a position of strength to help you to get this body of knowledge. In the absence of the medium that you're using, being able to give you this type of information because they may not be doing updated research, you owe it to yourself to at least do some legwork to get essential information before you invest your advertising dollars. Because again, it's another reason why you can lose hundreds of thousands of dollars and millions of dollars in advertising that does not deliver results. We also talk here about the effective use of the medium. Earlier we talk about scope. Now there's some medium that has a broad scope. And as you look at the scope, it's important to understand scope represents geography, span of influence. And the possibility exists that you may have scope, but you're not optimizing your use of that scope. All right, and here we talk about demographic targeted content production. Demographic targeted content production. Because of your scope, you may be reaching persons regionally, locally, and internationally, but you only present local content. Is that an advantage or is that a disadvantage? Is that an effective use of the medium? In the context where you're dealing with clients that has an international brand, but your scope of content is only localized, that may be a disadvantage. So these are important concepts that you want to look very deep into, or at least ensure that you have an expert on your side that can help in this analysis, that can help in this assessment, and can help you to make objective decision when it comes to placing the ad into the appropriate communication channel. Now, we talk again about media impact and ability to convert. Now, the reason that you're going to be assessing the media effectiveness of helping you to get visibility, reach, impact client conversion, because at the end of the day, you want to know that the advertising objective that you're going after, you will be able to achieve it. And that must translate into the ability of that medium to convert clients into paying clients. Again, the only way you could have this type of knowledge is through research, and research will translate into data collection, data analytics, data application, and data mitigation. It is called becoming market oriented, market sensitive, and market responsive. So even in the advertising placement of ads, you need to ensure that you have the expertise on your side that is one, market oriented. They understand the effectiveness and the effective use of the medium. They are market sensitive, important concepts that you want to look at. The more objective that media is the better you will be able, when you place your ads, to command attention, to pique interest, to arouse desire, and to move the client into action. Again, the big question you want to be asking yourself, does the medium or media have the ability to measure and actualize this type of results that we're talking about? So we need to hold all stakeholders to a high standard. The researchers need to be held to a high standard because they're going to research the information and bring that body of knowledge to you. Those who are interpreting that information and producing the commercial to appeal to the demographic based on psychographics, they need to be held to a high standard. And the communication channel, the communication medium that you're using, this too must be held to a high standard, because if these elements don't come together and work in harmony to help you to achieve your advertising objective, your advertising objective can be lost in translation. And that's the last thing that you want to have happen. So again, the big question you're asking yourself, does the media or medium that you're using to communicate information, does it have the ability to measure and actualize the type of results that we have talked about? Is that media truly able to give you visibility, reach, and impact on client conversion? Is it really able to do that? You want to be certain about this. Now, I must say this. It is very clear today with mass media, radio, television, newspaper, because there is not much effort today to collect sensitive data, to analyze sensitive data, and to deploy the institution based on data. It has become weaker and weaker over many years. Unlike social media is built on data collection, data analytics, data application, data mitigation. You can achieve all of this within the social media platform. You can also achieve this at a very high level in independent communication channel, because you have super control over this and you have data. So all of which I'm talking about today are important concepts for you to consider when you want to win, not only in building a strong MVO, not only in producing strong creative content, but also you want to win when it comes to placing that ads in the media and achieving a desired end result. So I'm going to pause here for today. I'm going to leave the rest for later on. But I really trust that you would have enjoyed today's nuggets on the art and science of media management. Again, I repeat where I started. I said that much time, talent, and resources can be invested into building a strong MV, a minimum viable offer, most viable offer, a strong viable offer. The same can be said in creative content for radio, television, newspaper. But if you are building strong MV, if you're building a strong communication content, creative content, but you're not pausing to look at the effectiveness of the communication channel, your vision, hopes, and aspiration can go down drain simply because the medium that you're using is not well designed to help you to achieve your advertising objectives. So we talk here about mastering the art and science of media management. And what does this look like? We looked at this. It's about you asking yourself the effectiveness and the effective use of mass media, the effectiveness and the effective use of social media, the effectiveness and the effective use of the metaverse, and the effectiveness and the effective use of independent communication channel. All of these things are things that you must ask yourself. Effectiveness and effective use. If you don't know, you should at least have an expert by your side that's really helping you to unlock the art and science of media management. So look back at this video and reach out to us if you have any questions based on what I would have talked about today. Feel free to send me a question, send me a DM, and be blessed, and see you in the next broadcast.